अभी अपन जब भी बोलते कि ये बंदा बड़ा पावरफुल है, सो अपने एक बिजनेसमैन है, सब लोग बोलते वो बड़े पावरफुल है, या फिर कोई पॉलिटिशियन हो बड़ा पावरफुल है, तो कैन वी कंसिडर दैट एज पावर इन फिजिक्स? एब्सोल्युटली नो. ओके, सो व्हेन इट कम्स टू फिजिक्स, पावर का बड़ा सिंपल सा डेफिनेशन है, इट इज हाउ मच वर्क यू कैन डू इन अ स्मॉल अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम. तो आपको अगर टाइम दिया गया है, उसमें अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा वर्क कर पा रहे हो तो देन यू विल बी कंसिडर्ड पावरफुल. और अगर आप उतना वर्क नहीं कर पा रहे हो, देन ऑब्वियसली वी से दैट द पावर इज लेस. Hey learners, this is Dr. Rishi from the Learners Academy, and today we are going to continue the chapter Work, Energy and Power that we did in the previous video. So let us have a small recap about what we did so far. So we have studied about something called as force. So we'll say that force is equal to mass multiplied by acceleration. Then we have moment of force or torque, which would be force multiplied by the distance between where the force is applied and the axis of rotation. Then in yesterday's topic we studied about work, which was equal to force multiplied by distance if the force is applied perpendicular to the body, and it was also equal to Fs cos theta if there was an angle between F and S which was equal to theta. So today let us go ahead with learning a new topic called power. So what is power? So power, अभी अपन जब भी बोलते कि ये बंदा बड़ा पावरफुल है, सो अपने एक बिजनेसमैन है, सब लोग बोलते वो बड़े पावरफुल है, या फिर कोई पॉलिटिशियन हो बड़ा पावरफुल है, तो can we consider that as power in physics? Absolutely no. Okay, so when it comes to physics, power का बड़ा simple सा definition है, it is how much work you can do in a small amount of time. तो आपको अगर टाइम दिया गया है, उसमें अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा वर्क कर पा रहे हो तो then you will be considered powerful. और अगर आप उतना वर्क नहीं कर पा रहे हो, then obviously we say that the power is less. Okay, so the formula for power is equal to work divided by time. So you take work and we divide it by time, we call it power. दो चीजें जिसके ऊपर पावर डिपेंड करेगा. First is the numerator, that is work. तो if you do a lot of work, then power would increase. So it is directly proportional to the work done, and it is inversely proportional to the time taken. So if the time is less, then power would be more. So for instance, now again this is something very important to understand, कि अगर work done 0 है तो power would also be 0. So I'll give you two examples. I hope you might have seen a porter or a coolie. उसने लगेज उठाया है, अभी उसने लगेज उठाया है और अपने सर पर रखा है. He is not moving. The weight has been lifted and it is kept on his head, and he is not moving. If he is not moving under this circumstance, he is not doing any work because there is no displacement. Okay, so मेरा एक पोर्टर है और उसने अपने सर पर एक बक्सा उठा के रखा है ऐसे. Now if it is only on his head, there is no displacement. There is no displacement, there is no work done. So the power in this condition is applying is equal to 0. Now, if he starts walking and he goes to a certain distance, so we have him here, now we have, so he has gone from here to here, there is a displacement, he is applying some force, then there is a displacement, so some work is done, and he is doing that work in some specific time. Yes. So say suppose he is lifting 50 kilograms and he is moving 10 meters and in 2 seconds. Now this is a scenario where we can say that we can find out the power that has been used in this particular scenario. Okay, पर अगर वो बस यहाँ पर खड़ा है या फिर यहाँ पर खड़ा है तो there would be no power, there would be no work done. Okay, so that's basically what we have about power. Now, since power is equal to work upon time, we can also manipulate it a bit, and we can write it as, so what can be work replaced by? Work can be replaced by F multiplied by S divided by T. So I can write it as F multiplied by S divided by T. Now this quantity S divided by T is equal to V, that is velocity. We all know velocity is displacement upon time, so I can replace it and write my force as, write my power as the force applied multiplied by the velocity of the body. So if I apply a force on something and the body is in motion and it achieves a particular velocity, then I can just take the force and the velocity and get the total power. So now let's go ahead and talk about units of power. So units of power are, obviously the first thing we are going to do is we are going to use the unit of work and we are going to use the unit of time. So what is the unit of work? So the unit of work is force, unit of force multiplied by unit of time. So that is, unit of force is newtons multiplied by unit of, unit of force multiplied by unit of displacement. So unit of displacement is meters and we divide it by time. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, ये एग्जाम में आएगा, वो पूछेंगे पावर तो यूनिट या तो ये लिखना है या फिर the other unit that we have is, इस सारे को मिला के अपन बोलते हैं watt, named after James Watt. Okay, so अगर उसका अपन short form लिखेंगे तो it would be a capital W. हमेशा से ये ध्यान में रखना है, अगर किसी साइंटिस्ट का नेम है तो the short form would always be the capital letter, the long form, if the entire unit is written, the first letter is never capitalized. Okay, the other unit that we can use is, obviously Newton meter can be replaced by joule upon time, so we can write it as joule upon time, joule upon t, that is joule upon seconds. I'm sorry, it should be a second here. That is the unit of time. Yeah. So here it would be joule second to the minus 1. Okay. So power का यूनिट लिखना है, या तो watt लिखिए, या तो Newton meters per second लिखिए, या फिर joules per second लिखिए. This can also be written as Newton meters second to the minus 1. इनमें से कोई सा भी एक लिखोगे, या तो ये, या तो ये, या तो ये चल जाएगा. Okay? Personally, I would prefer watt because this is the SI unit of power. Others are also SI unit of power. However, watt is easy to remember. Abhi watt again is a very small unit. So we generally use kilowatts. So we can have the other units that are there, that are kilowatts, megawatts. So when we talk about electricity, it is generally measured in kilowatts and megawatts, even gigawatts for that matter. Yeah. And if you talk about the smaller units, so जो सबसे ज़्यादा famous है वो है milliwatt. So it would be written as milliwatt. So if you look at it, ये होगा 10 to the power of minus 3 watt, ये होगा 10 to the power of plus 3 watt, ये होगा 10 to the power of 6 watt, और ये होगा 10 to the power of 9 watt. Okay, so these are other common units. Yeah. So these are other common units that we use in our real life. The milliwatts are generally used for smaller devices, जैसे ना mobile phone वगैरह है, तो they are generally using the power in the in and around milliwatts. Okay. Now these are all SI units that were multiples of 10. One of the first units that was measured for power was horsepower. So we still use horsepower in a majority of motors and all. Their power is still measured in horsepower. So 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts. So if you have 746 watts, it's equal to 1 horsepower. So if you are buying a motor or a pump and it says it is 1 HP or 1.5 HP or 2 HPs, it would basically mean multiples of these. So there was an experiment that was done in the past where it was, I think, few centuries ago, where they had used horses to pull out spheres. 7 horses on each side were needed to pull out the spheres, and then they calculated it, and then they said ki, okay, itna power is 1 horse ka power. So it literally meant the power that was given by 1 horse. The other unit would be the CGS unit. So CGS unit would be erg per second. So erg per second is, erg is for measuring the work and second is for measuring the time. These are the other 2 units that we use when we talk about power. So ergs per second is and horsepower are other 2 units that we generally use in our real life when we have to calculate. Okay, so let's check out the differences between work and power. The first difference is work done by a force is equal to the product of force and the displacement along the direction of force. However, power of a source is the rate of it doing work. Now, work done does not depend on time. However, power spent depends on time in which the work is done. And the SI unit of work is joule and the SI unit of power is watts. So that was about power. Now let's go ahead to the next segment that we are going to study today, and that is energy. So now we are talking about energy. So you might have heard this phrase related to some of your friends. He's such an energetic person, meaning that person has a lot of energy. Now what do we imply by this? We basically imply that that person can do a lot of work. So if we talk about energy, it is basically the capacity of the body to do work. कि body कितना काम कर सकता है और कितना ज़्यादा काम कर सकता है body basically. Okay, so anyone who is high on energy would end up doing a lot of work. Okay, so अगर अपन पीछे जाएंगे तो 8th standard में we had studied something called as work energy theory, which defined work as the difference between the final and the initial kinetic energy, या फिर for that matter final and initial potential energy. So it is the difference between the 2 energies, we'll call it as the work. So ये एक और way है to look at. Now since it is the difference in the energies, work का unit भी energy के unit उतना ही होगा. That is, it is going to be joules. Okay, so the SI unit is going to be joules. So basically, energy, I can say it's equal to capacity to do work और उसका यूनिट्स आएंगे. तो पहला तो होगा जूल. The SI unit of energy is joules, and the CGS unit would be ergs. So CGS is ergs, 1 erg, so that would be the CGS unit. So the other unit that we use commercially is called watt hours or kilowatt hours. Now where does this watt hour or kilowatt hour come? It comes from here, from the power definition. So now we can redefine work as power multiplied by time. Now that's pretty interesting because the unit of work is watt and we multiply it by time. So we have watt second. Now 1 watt second is equal to joule. Don't have to worry about it a lot. But what do we use it, like how do we use it in commercial ways? घर पर सबसे ज्यादा बवाल होता है जब लाइट बिल आता है एंड पेरेंट्स चिल्लाते हैं इतने यूनिट बिल आया. What do you mean by इतने यूनिट बिल आया? Your dad screaming at the top of his voice, 700 यूनिट जला. So when you see this meaning, you yourself would be amazed. So let's check out ये जो commercial unit है ये होता कितना है energy का. So ये watt hour एक यूनिट है जो अपन ने देखा है. जो दूसरा कमर्शियल यूनिट होता है वो है किलो, ये वॉट सेकंड है रादर. दूसरा जो यूनिट होता है वो होता है किलोवाट आवर. किलोवाट आवर. तो ये यूनिट बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट, जिसका पावर है 1000 वॉट. और अगर मैं उसको पूरा 1 घंटा भर चलाऊंगा तो मेरे को बिल आएगा 1 यूनिट. आप बोलोगे सर इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है? ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए. जो आपका सबसे बड़ा वाला एसी होगा उसका पावर वॉटेज रहता है अराउंड 2 किलोवाट टू 2.5 किलोवाट. तो अगर आप अपना एसी 10 घंटे के लिए कंटिन्यूअसली चला रहे हो तो आपका जो जनरली बिल आएगा वो होगा 20 किलोवाट आवर या फिर 20 यूनिट. तो अपना जो एसी है, अगर आपने उसको, आपका एसी का पावर रेटिंग है 2.5 किलोवाट और आप उसको, या फिर 2 किलोवाट से मेक इट इजी, 2 किलोवाट का एसी है और वो चल रहा है 10 घंटों के लिए, तो इट इज गोइंग टू यूज अ यूनिट ऑफ, इट इज गोइंग टू यूज 20 यूनिट्स इन दोस 10 आवर्स. तो भी आप अगर ध्यान से समझोगे तो अगर 700 यूनिट बिल आ रहा है 30 दिन में, उसका मतलब है यू आर स्पेंडिंग 20 यूनिट्स एवरी डे, अप्रॉक्सिमेटली 23-24 यूनिट्स एवरी डे. आप बोलोगे सर इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है? तो यू विल अंडरस्टैंड इट वंस वी फिगर आउट हाउ लार्ज वन यूनिट इज. सो मेरा यूनिट है 1 किलोवाट आवर. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? इट इज 1000 वॉट मल्टीप्लाइड बाय, 1 घंटे में आते हैं 3600 सेकेंड्स, गिविंग यू 3.6 times 10 to the power of 6 watt seconds. That's equal to 3.6 times 10 to the power of 6 joules. तो ये 1 यूनिट का हो गया. अगर आप दिन में 25 यूनिट जला रहे हैं या 30 यूनिट जला रहे हैं तो इसको 30 से मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. Multiplying by this by 30 would give you 1 more 100. So that would be 10 to the power of 8 joules. So this sounds a very large amount of energy. Because अगर इसको अपन कैलोरीज में डालेंगे तो एक कैलोरी एक और यूनिट है जो जनरली बायोलॉजी में यूज होता है, कभी-कभी फिजिक्स भी यूज कर लेते हैं, पर्टिकुलरली कैलोरी में भी होगा. बट जनरली इट इज डीलिंग विद बायोलॉजी. सो कैलोरी इज अनदर यूनिट दैट वी हैव. कैलोरी के बारे में हम इसके बाद सीखेंगे, पर ये ध्यान में रखिए कि दिस इज द अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी दैट यू आर स्पेंडिंग व्हेन यू आर स्पेंडिंग 1 कमर्शियल यूनिट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. तो अगली बार जब आप आपका एसी काम नहीं है उसका तो उसको बंद कर दो. आप रूम से बाहर जा रहे हो तो उसको बंद कर दो, लाइटें वाइटें बंद कर दो, बिकॉज we are using a lot of energy. And where is this energy coming from? So there are power centers which are burning a lot of coal and petroleum to generate this power. और वो जब तक अपने पास आता है काफी कम हो जाता है. So this is also a good idea that you keep it into your mind. ये conversion याद रखना, ये MCQ में आता है बहुत ज्यादा बार. It's one of the most common things that comes because काफी easy है, पर अगर आपको डायरेक्टली पता हो तो your MCQ would be solved in few seconds. ओके. अगला वाला यूनिट है कैलोरीज. अभी कैलोरीज क्या होते हैं? तो 1 कैलोरी इज इक्वल टू अप्रॉक्सिमेटली 4.2 जूल्स. तो वी हैव 1 कैलोरी इज इक्वल टू 4.2 जूल्स. अपन दूसरी चीज भी यूज करते हैं जो होता है किलो कैलोरीज. 1 किलो कैलोरी वुड बी 1000 कैलोरीज. सो दे कैन बी कंसीडर्ड एज 4200 जूल्स. ये एक अप्रॉक्सिमेट रीडिंग है. किलो कैलोरीज जनरली वो लोग ज्यादा काउंट करते हैं जो ज्यादा अपने हेल्दी हैबिट्स पे ध्यान देते हैं, फूड इंटेक पे ध्यान देते हैं. ऑल दोस प्लेसेस विल बी यूजिंग किलो कैलोरीज. तो ये दो चीज है जो इंपॉर्टेंट है, जो आपने ध्यान में रखनी है. तो किलोवाट आवर वो जनरली इलेक्ट्रिसिटी से एसोसिएटेड रहता है, कैलोरीज है वो जनरली हीट से एसोसिएटेड रहती है. ओके. अभी ये सब हो गए अपने नॉर्मल रेगुलर लोगों के यूनिट्स. नाउ लेट अस टॉक अबाउट अ स्पेशल काइंड ऑफ यूनिट. ये जो स्पेशल काइंड ऑफ यूनिट है ये जनरली मेजॉरिटी बस साइंटिस्ट्स यूज करते हैं. This is called as 1 electron-volt. अभी देखते हैं ये इलेक्ट्रॉन-वोल्ट क्या होता है. ये जो एनर्जी ये जनरली एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स के साथ एसोसिएटेड होती है. So we are going to be very specific. ये बस एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स पे अप्लाई होती है, उनकी एनर्जीज है वो जनरली इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट्स में मेजर होगी। तो we will see how much 1 electron volt is. Okay, तो अगर मैं एक इलेक्ट्रॉन ले रहा हूँ E यहाँ पर and it is going from here to here, okay, और इन दोनों के बीच का potential difference है 1 volt, then the energy required for the electron to change its potential, go from one point to another point whose potential difference is 1 volt, will be called as 1 electron volt. तो अभी देखते हैं कि 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट कितना होता है. So it is, अभी ये स्पेसिफिकली एटम्स के साथ एसोसिएटेड होगा, रियल लाइफ में ये बिल्कुल भी यूज नहीं किया जाता है. सो इट इज, सो 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट इज इक्वल टू चार्ज ऑन इलेक्ट्रॉन multiplied by 1 volt. Charge on electron is 1.6 times 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs multiplied by 1 volt. It gives you 1.6 times 10 to the power of minus 19 joules. You can see it is very small, 10 to the power of minus 19, almost negligible for us, but it is very crucial when we talk about atomic reactions. Okay, now, so this was about energy. Let us quickly go ahead and see the difference between energy and power. Energy of a body is its capacity to do work. Power of a source is the rate at which energy is supplied by it. Energy spent does not depend on time, power depends on time. SI unit of energy is joules, SI unit of power is watt. So this was about power and energy. If you found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up. Do share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel. This was Dr. Rishi from the Learners Academy. See you later.